Hey, okay, now we're going to talk about Noam Chomsky's transformational grammar. So, what he did with transformational grammar is he provided the rules for how to transform an underlying deep structure of a sentence into what's called a given or surface level structure of a sentence. So, for example, the sentence is John has hit the ball and the ball has been hit by John. They have the same deep structures. They mean pretty much the same thing, even though their surface structure is different. So the first sentence is an active syntactic structure, an active sentence, whereas the second sentence would be a passive sentence structure. And so, for example, in this case, right, there's an active to passive transformational rule in our mind, is the idea, which is move the object of the sentence to the subject position and adjust the verb form accordingly. That would be the transformational rule. So if the sentence was the chef cooked the meal, we can think of this as one noun phrase at the beginning, the chef plus a verb plus a second noun phrase, the meal, right? Um, Well, the rule is you should basically if you wanted to change this from active to passive, the rule is that you should basically switch the object and the subject and then adjust the verb form accordingly. So in this case, uh, you would say the meal was cooked by the chef. Okay, so I'm not a linguist, so I don't really know a whole lot about transformational grammar. But the main reason I'm talking about this is because you can think of these transformational rules as examples of algorithms, right? There's a deep structure of a sentence that would be like the input, right? And then you possess the rules or instructions in your mind for how to transform that deep structure into a sentence with the same deep structure, but with a different surface structure. And so the different surface sentence would be your output, right? So the chef cooked the meal would be the input, and then you would have some rules for how to transform that sentence into a passive sentence, and your output would be the meal was cooked by the chef. Um, and these principles specify procedures for converting a set of symbols into another set of symbols, much like how a computer does. And it would do this in a purely algorithmic fashion. I think we might talk about this later. Yeah. So this is a short video. And so in the next video, we'll talk briefly about information processing models of attention and memory.